All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You know that feeling? That frustrating, totally confusing state where you just have no idea what to do next? Well, we're gonna dive into why that feeling completely freezes us, and maybe, just maybe, how it holds the secret to actually moving forward.
So let me ask you, really, what do you do when the answer just isn't clear? When the path forward is a complete fog and life just isn't handing you the map you need? It's a tough spot to be in, for sure.
You know, there's actually a perfect word for this feeling. It's flummoxed. It means you're just utterly confused, totally perplexed. It's that sensation of your brain literally hitting a brick wall. And yeah, it's a super uncomfortable place to be. So, let's talk about what it feels like to be completely flummoxed. It's that moment where the answers you need just don't show up on your schedule, and you're left kind of stuck between where you are and where you want to be. Now, think about this for a second. A compass that spins wildly still points to movement. At first glance, you'd think a spinning compass is just broken, right? Totally useless. But this idea, it suggests it's actually telling us something really important. So, what could that be? Let's kind of hold that question in our back pocket for a bit. Okay, so this feeling of being flummoxed, it often leads to something even worse, which is the paralysis of not knowing. You know what I'm talking about, that feeling of being completely frozen, just unable to move forward. Let's break down what that actually looks like. So it usually shows up in two big ways. First, there's social anxiety. Like, you really want to understand someone, but you get so worried about all the what-ifs that you just freeze. You don't do anything because you're scared of what might happen if you step outside your routine. And then, of course, there's the classic one, decision paralysis. You've got a choice to make, a path to pick, and you just can't. And what's the first thing we all do when we're facing a huge decision? We try to get rational about it, right? We pull out a piece of paper, draw that line right down the middle, and get ready for a good old-fashioned pros and cons list.
But then, what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your brain is so stuck that the logical, rational approach just completely fails. And instead of filling out your list, you find yourself doodling maybe some tacos. I mean, it's the perfect picture of that mental static, isn't it? Your brain just checks out and starts thinking about lunch instead of your entire life's direction.
But here's a thought. What if this whole being flummoxed thing isn't just a problem we need to solve? What if there's actually a hidden reward inside all that mystery? To get there, we've got to completely shift how we think about uncertainty. Just think about it. That annoying, nagging feeling of not knowing, it actually creates this tug inside of us. It's a tension that pushes us. If you really, truly want to figure something out, that mysterious tug is the very thing that's going to motivate you to get up and start searching for an answer. So this really sets up two different mindsets, doesn't it? On one hand, you can embrace that tug and go searching. When you do that, success feels so much more worthwhile. And even if you fail, well, at least you tried. You learned something. You're moving. But if you just sit back and wait for the answer to come to you, you just stay trapped by all those what-ifs. You learn absolutely nothing. You're still frozen. All right, and this brings us to the big payoff. We're going to finally solve the riddle of that spinning compass. This is where it all comes together with a really powerful new way to think about what to do when we feel completely lost. Okay, so let's go back to that compass, the one that's just spinning wildly. Our first instinct, of course, is to think, well, this is broken. I'm hopelessly lost. But here's the key. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's not broken. It's actually showing you what you pursue. Think about it. The amount of effort you put in, the direction you start searching, the energy you spend trying to find an answer, that's what the spinning compass is really pointing at. So in other words, being uncertain forces you to do something. And the direction you decide to explore, even if it feels totally random at the time, ends up telling you something really profound about what you actually prioritize, what you desire, and what you're brave enough to go after. You're literally learning about yourself through the simple act of searching. And really, it all boils down to one of the oldest sayings in the book, right? Actions speak louder than words. I mean, we can say we're all sorts of things, but when we are truly, deeply flummoxed, it's what we do in that moment of uncertainty that shows who we really are. So, I want to leave you with this. Think about something you're uncertain about in your own life, right now, that place where you feel totally flummoxed. Ask yourself, what is my pursuit of an answer, or maybe my lack of pursuit, telling me about myself? Because the answer to that question, well, that might just be the clarity you've been looking for all along.